Welcome to r/Menwritingwomen, where terrible authors write women with the worst descriptions imaginable. I'm actually done. I refuse to read a book with a female character in it written by a man over 40. I never thought I would have to read the phrase, "She had D-cup guts, but a trainer bra brain." I don't know what the F that means. What does it even mean to have a D-cup gut? Does that mean that your gut is like swollen and distended like you're pregnant? And that makes you brave, I guess? Linda, his 14-year-old daughter, was just going out the door in a flirt of skirt and a flip of her ponytail, tied this morning with a sexy velvet ribbon. Her books were under one arm. Right, yeah, that's how every father describes his 14-year-old girl. Shonen authors be like, if we're gonna put a woman in a position of authority, she must have giant titties. Like some serious honkers. A real set of badonka wonkas. Packing a pair of big ol' Tahongareka cougars. I'm talking massive Dahunga Banka Tonka Hiraloos. And then Butch Fishy down in the comments explains the logic behind it. That's why they're so big. They're full of authority. It's nice to see you again too, man, I said, and don't mention it. I save people's lives all the time. Susan smiled at me, giving Molly the female once-over, a process by which one woman creates a detailed profile of another woman based upon about 1,000,000 subtle details of clothing, jewelry, makeup, and body type, and then decides how much of a social threat she might be. Men have a parallel process, but it's binary. Does he have beer? If yes, will he share with me? Harry, Susan said, kissing me on the cheek. I felt like a pine tree in cougar country. I just have to hope territorial scoring of my bark wasn't next. Who's this? Posted from Immersive Love Stories. 19-year-old Sienna is the only virgin in the pack, and the alpha has his eye on her. No girl has ever said no to the alpha before, but Sienna's different. She won't give in without a fight, even if her body is begging her to. Then someone down in the comments posted this excerpt. Every unmated girl in the city was in love with Aiden Norwood. Tall, dark, and sexy, he was everything a girl couldn't resist. Add in the fact he's the alpha of one of the top 3 packs in the entire US, and girls practically melted in his presence. Whenever he entered a room, everyone couldn't ignore him. Every human and werewolf turned their heads and followed him with their stares. Males with begrudging acknowledgement, some with admiration, and females with lust, hunger, and unhidden invitation. But Aiden never took the willing females into his bed. He rejected so many of them, from the ugliest to the prettiest, until people started to think he might have a secret mate, or that he's gay. But those were just the wounded females who thought so. No alpha in the world could be gay. It simply wasn't in their archaic instincts. Alphas needed and lusted after a woman, a mate, to continue his legacy, and no man would do. When I started reading this subreddit, I was expecting lots of sexism, and of course I'm seeing it. But turns out we've got some homophobia thrown in for some reason. Video game. Here's an adult female character with the mentality of an 8-year-old. I don't want this. Video game. Sorry, my mistake. Here's a 700-year-old female character with the appearance of a child. I don't want this either. She stood there for some time, her legs as cold as marble inside her jeans, her nipples feeling sharp enough and hard enough to cut paper, her lips dead dry. She waited for the voices. No voices came. So if you're wondering why this passage is so bad, it's because the girl's 11! She's 11 years old! I feel bad just reading this. Article from The Independent. The Bad Sex Award is idiotic, says angry author nominated for scene where food critic sucks brie off a wet nurse's So I actually went to go look up the passage that got this terrible award, and I really can't read it on YouTube. But there's one part where the guy's describing that she smells like anchovies. I'll let you guess which part he was talking about. And her butt smells like tobacco. So, yeah, I can definitely see why he got the award. On the YouTube video, The Truth About Frozen, posted by Stefan Molyneux. And then a reply from Stefan Molyneux. And just to be clear, this guy obviously meant to change over to another account, but forgot, so accidentally posted under his own name. Posted by Stefan Molyneux. Comment by Stefan Molyneux. I love this. You totally kinda ruined Frozen for me, but I really enjoyed this a lot more than the actual movie. And you really got me thinking about a lot. Being an attractive young woman, I understand what it's like to be seen as nothing more than a sex doll. I also know what it's like to use that to my advantage to get over the system. Hell, I even know what it is to suffer mental illness, only to be told by my parents to ignore it. However, despite all this, I feel like I've learned more lessons from everything that has happened in my life. Thank you so much for posting this. Honestly, I want to make a difference in the world, and I look to people like you to sort of guide me in the right direction. Thanks so much. And then the replies to that comment. Did you really just pretend to be a girl in your own comment section? This is beyond hysterical. I'm confused. Did Steph repost this from a private comment or something? No, Steph, you're a man. Sorry. I think he finally cracked. Oh my god, did you actually try to post a fake comment pretending to be a woman who likes your work? You're beyond pathetic, Molyneux. Said no woman ever. Do you ever watch something and think, this was written by a man? I was up late night watching an episode of Criminal Minds fairly recently, for lack of a better thing to do. In the opening scene, there are these two girls getting into their car in like a supermarket parking lot, not very well lit, in the middle of the night. Another car drives up behind theirs and won't move out of the way, so the one girl's like, I'm gonna go see what this guy's problem is, and gets out of the car in a poorly lit parking lot to confront a man who was behaving aggressively to them. So that was the precise moment I realized that episode was written by a man. I was watching an episode of CSI where the entire reason they were going forward with the case was that no woman would wear a bra this expensive without also wearing the matching panties. What porn logic is this? I was, at that moment, wearing the exact bra that Jane Doe was wearing, and F no, I didn't spring for the matching panties. Even if I did, I wouldn't wear them as often as a bra. Panties I wash daily, bras not so much. But in CSI world, police resources were being mobilized on how irregular it would be for a woman to wear a $36 bra, but not caring about how she would look in just underthings. Me every month. I've got my period again. I don't want to effing go through this again. God dang it. Well, periods suck. Trust me, I was emotionally close with a woman. In fact, close enough to feel her goddamn periods. Man, I effing hated it. Men, don't get that attached. Be supportive, feed her ice cream, and whatever else she asks for, but don't get attached enough to feel them. It's not worth it. Anyway, I hate to be callous, but that's just your body telling you to hurry up and get pregnant. Of course, birth control also makes them not as bad, depending on what kind. Of course, you find out that there's more kinds of birth control than there are types of oil, which is a pain. There are more period containment things. Yes, that includes tampons, pads, cups, etc. Than there are types of oil, according to my dad, who actually knows stuff about oil, saying there's like 4 types. Yes, talking about motor oil here. So ladies, find what's right for you, ask a doctor, test some different period things out. It's for your own good. What the F are you talking about? I thought I couldn't effing read for a minute. What? Did this guy just assume assume women didn't know? Know that? Did he just mansplain periods? Did he imply that he could actually feel someone else's period? Motor oil? There's a lot to unpack here, but let's just throw away the whole suitcase. Well, good news, ladies. Instead of going to your OBGYN, you can just go to your local mechanic because they've changed so much oil that basically makes them an expert on women's anatomy. Think of all the money you'll save. I'll sit in the hotel room, he said, and watch Buster Friendly on TV. His guest for the last 3 days had been Amanda Warner. I like her. I could watch her for the rest of my life. She has breasts that smile. And then the top comment, this made my titties frown severely. This next passage is from Sigmund Freud. For girls, the conflict here is more complicated. As we said earlier, girls abandon their love interest with their mother for a new one with their father. This shift occurs when the girl realizes she has no dong. She withdraws affection from her mother and blames her for her castrated condition, because her mother has no dong either. At the same time, the girl's affection is drawn to her father, who does have a dong. Ultimately, the girl comes to wish that her father would share his dong with her through intercourse, or that he would provide her with the symbolic equivalent of a dong, a baby. Since when are babies dongs? New guy's a weirdo, huh? Rachel said out loud, not holding back her rudeness, staring directly at me, saying it like one of those college girls. I'm hot and cool, but don't give a flip, but was probably molested at some point in my teenage years. So I'm always in defense mode and attack others before they can attack me first. That kind of chick. You know the type. This author is basically saying that every single girl who's ever been rude to him is only rude because she was molested as a kid. Maybe they're rude to you because you're a douchebag, dude. Posted on a comment on DeviantArt on the picture Eternal Alien Girlfriend by Soured Candy. The base is there, but the execution is rather lackluster. Her bosoms need to be more brimming. Let the chest be your canvas and inspiration your brush. In fact, if you're a healthy female of breeding age, maybe I could teach you the ways of an art connoisseur over dinner. Have you ever had dinner with an artist? I bet not. So even though you haven't asked me yourself, I might as well tell you the gloomy details and get the whole thing over with. I'm 18 years old, I have dark hair, I'm a little over 6 feet tall, and I have green eyes, a car, and a country club membership. These are all desirable traits that fertile adults seek to propagate. Get back to me. I just got asked out to dinner over DeviantArt after being told my art's lackluster because the titty isn't big enough. He sounds like he's a frickin' alien from another planet trying to figure out human courting customs. Hey there, lady. I see that you're a desirable post-pubescent female with positive breeding traits. I also am a desirable post-pubescent human with desirable breeding traits, but I am a male. Match made in heaven? I think so. The least believable thing about the Revenge of the Sith is Padme gracefully prancing while full-term pregnant with twins and tearfully begging Anakin to reconsider, as opposed to waddling out of her spaceship and screaming, "What the F, Anakin?" A male author is insisting that he's living proof that it's possible for a male author to write an authentic female protagonist. Here's a quote from his first page. I sauntered over, certain he noticed me. I'm hard to miss, I'd like to think. A little tall, but not too tall. A nice set of curves if I do say so myself. Pants so impossibly tight that if I had a credit card in my back pocket, you could read the expiration date. The rest of my outfit wasn't that remarkable, just a few old things I had lying around, you know how it is. Well, obviously this guy can't write an authentic female protagonist because women's pants don't have pockets. You don't have to fake an orgasm to help your partner's ego. The guy I lost my virginity to wrote a play about the experience, and the character based on me gave a monologue about how she regretted sleeping with him because no one else would ever be that good. So yeah, just tell him that you didn't finish. I'm sorry, he wrote an effing what? Then we have this contribution from Bojack down in the comments. When I was in high school, my best male friend was in love with me. I had no idea. When he told me and I didn't reciprocate, he wrote a poem calling me a prostitute and describing himself as a phoenix who would rise from the ashes. He read it out loud to my entire English class. That was r/Menwritingwomen, and don't forget to hit that like button because it really helps my channel grow.